Hello friends, welcome to Electronic Circuit Hub. So today I'm gonna explain about the inductor design calculation for buck converter application. So I'm gonna follow the 5 step to design the inductors. Okay. So the topic is 5 step to design inductor for buck converter application. So let us understand. If you have given your input spec and your output spec, let us say your input is V in is 24 volt plus minus 10%, and your output is 5 ampere. Load current is 5 ampere, output voltage is 3.3 volt, and switching frequency is nothing but it is 100 hertz. Okay, it is 100 hertz. So for this application, how you gonna complete design the inductor, how you gonna find the value of L, and then later how you gonna design the inductor. So I'll follow 5 step and I'll explain inductor design calculation in these 5 step, and if you follow the 5 step, you're gonna design the inductor for your application. Okay, so let us understand how you're gonna design now, how you gonna calculate everything for buck converter. Okay, so what is the first step? The first step is find the value of inductor. What is the first step? The first step is find the value of inductor. So in order to find the value of inductor, you have to apply the volt second balance. Okay, volt second balance for buck converter application. So okay, so what is the volt second balance? Volt second balance is what is the output in the buck converter. So output of the buck converter V naught equals to V in multiply by duty cycle, V in multiply by D, where your D is the duty cycle. So V in minimum input voltage multiply by the duty cycle maximum, minimum input voltage multiply by the duty cycle maximum equals to the maximum input voltage V in max multiply by the duty cycle minimum is going to be V naught. Okay, so by using this expression, you can calculate the value of D mean and D max, and D mean equals to 3.3 volt divided by 26.4 volt, which is coming 0.125, and D max is 3.3 volt divided by 21.6 volt, which is coming 0.152. So your duty cycle is 12%. That means your on time is 12%, and your on time minimum is 12%, maximum is 15%. Okay, so that is how we calculate the duty cycle in case of the buck converter. Now once you get the duty cycle, how you gonna calculate the value of inductor? It is very important. To calculate the value of inductor, I'm going to use this formula, and this formula is, let's say, for CCM application, continuous conduction mode. My buck converter is working in CCM mode. So for that, L equals to V naught into 1 minus D minimum duty cycle, and divide by delta IL into FSW, wherein your delta IL is nothing but the inductor ripple current, and FSW is nothing but the switching frequency, and switching frequency for this case is 100 kilohertz. Now how you gonna calculate the value of delta IL? So what I'm doing here, my I naught is output current is 5 ampere, and I'm considering the 10% of the ripple current, okay, of it. So what is my delta IL is nothing but 5.5, 10% of the ripple current, that means 5.5 ampere. So delta IL is now 5.5 ampere. You can consider the ripple current value starting from 10 to 30% of your I naught. But for this calculation purpose, I am using, to reduce the stress in the components, I'm using 10% of my I naught. So my delta IL is, maximum peak current is 5.5 ampere. Now if you replace now all the values, what is your output is 3.3, 1 minus D minimum is 1.25, delta IL is 5.5 ampere into switching frequency 100 kilohertz, and if you replace it, if you solve it, you're gonna get the inductance value, which is, you're gonna get the inductance value which is 5.25 microhenry, and this is going to be your starting now starting value of your inductor. Okay, this is the step one. So in step one, what we did was we have found out the value of L. We applied the volt second balance to calculate the minimum and maximum duty, and once we get the minimum and maximum duty, we have now got the value of inductance, that is L. Now, what is the second step? Once you get the value of inductor, you have to go in second step, and in second step, you have to calculate the the area product. So calculate the area product and note down the ACAW from core table. AC is nothing but window cross section area, and AW is nothing but window area. So you have to calculate the area product, that is AP, and then you have to note down the value of AC and AW from the core table. In order to calculate the value of AP, what is the formula? AP equals to area product equals to AC into AW, the cross section area of the core multiplied by the window area of the core, and which the formula is 2 into energy stored in inductor 2EL divided by KWKC J into BM, wherein the value of EL equals to half LIM square, where IM is the peak current of your inductor. And what is the KW? KW is the utilization factor of your the core, that is we call it as a window factor, and the value of window factor for skilled worker, not unskilled. For skilled worker it is 0.6, and for unskilled worker you can consider even lower than 0.6, let's say 0.4. And what is your KC? KC is the crest factor, and for this calculation for square wave application I am using the crest factor. The value of crest factor is 1. And what is the J? J is the current density of your wire, so KWKCJ into BM, and BM is nothing but the flux density of your core, that is 0.25 Tesla. Now we have everything. So what you need to do here is you have to find out the value of IM. So the value of IM is, now what I'm saying, that the value of IM is the 10%, which is going to be 5.25, right? It is it is 5.25 ampere, and then you can calculate the energy stored in inductor by using this formula. EL equals to half LIM square. Okay, so half L, the value of L is 5.25 into 10 to the power minus 6, 5.25 microhenry into 5.25 into 5.25. This is the peak current IM. So then I get here the energy stored in inductor is 72.35 into 10 to the power minus 6 joule. Okay, now you have everything. You can calculate the area product. So I got the value of area product is 2 into 72.35. This is the EL, energy stored in inductor, divided by the window factor, window utilization factor 0.6 into KC into current density 3 into 10 to the power 6 into the flux density 0.25 Tesla, and if you calculate it, I'm going to get 321.55 mm square. So now in the second step, we got the value of AP, and based on the value of AP, I'm going to select the core from core table. Okay, so in order to select the core from core table, you have to go and look at the manufacturer website and find out the core which is suitable for your application. Let's say this is the pot core. If you look at here, we have the pot core. Now let's say you have the EE core. So if I go and code table, if you look at here, the what is my area product? Calculated area product was coming 321 to the power 4. And if I look at here, let's say I'm selecting the core which is P1811, having the area product of 1116, window area is 27, and cross section area is 43, and magnetic mean path LM is 26. So based on that, I have selected PQ 1811 pot core, and this is the area product. This is the window area, this is the cross section area, and we have the magnetic mean path length. What is the your calculated value for your area product? That is 321 mm to the power 4. Now I have selected the core which is having in the step 3. I'm going to calculate the number of turns, and in order to calculate the number of turns you have to calculate the permeance first. Okay, so let us calculate the permeance. Let us say you have selected the HP3C grade ferrite, wherein the relative permeability of your ferrite core is 2000 plus minus 25%. So minimum mu r is going to be 1500. And in order to calculate the permeance, you have to apply this formula, that is mu naught mu r AC divided by Lm plus mu r into Lg. Okay, so if you replace now all the values here, so mu naught value is 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7. This is nothing but the constant, uh, into mu r is the relative permeability, which is the 1500. Mu r minimum is the 1500, so you have to write it here, 1500. So 1500 I have written 1500 into the cross section area of the core. The cross section area of the core is what? AC. The cross section of the area of the core is nothing but 43 mm square. So if you convert mm into the meter, so it is going to be 43 into 10 to the power minus 6. Now divide by Lm. Lm is nothing but the magnetic mean path length, which we noted down is 26 mm, 26 into 10 to the power 3, plus you can add the relative permeability multiply by, so let me write it here, 1500 and multiply by the Lg. Let's say you have selected the core and wherein the air gap of the core is 0.5. So let's ignore the value of mu r Lg. Compared to magnetic mean path length, the value of mu r Lg is very less, so we can ignore this terminology for our calculation. But if you want to accurately calculate, you can use it. So I'm going to use now mu naught mu r AC divided by Lm, and if you plug in all the value of permeance which I'm coming, which is I'm getting here is 1.04 into 10 to the power minus 7. So we got the value of permeance. Now with the help of permeance, I'm going to calculate the number of tons. What is the number of tons? So number of tons equals to square root of inductance divided by permeance. The value of inductance is 5.25 into 10 to the power minus 6 divided by 1.04 into 10 to the power minus 7. If you calculate this, the value of the number of tons is 23 tons. Okay, 23 tons. So in the step 3 we have calculated how many number of tons we required in order to attain a particular inductance value. Okay, so the step 3 is done. And what about the step 4? In step 4 we are going to calculate the wire gauge. And how you're gonna calculate the wire gauge? So I'll write it here, AW calculated wire gauge, which is equals to RMS current divided by J, current density. So that is equal to I naught and IRMS is same for the DC current, DC output. So I naught divided by J. So 5 ampere divided by 3 into 10 to the power minus 6. And if you calculate it, it is coming around 1.67. So thing to remember here is, guys, the value wire gauge we select from the average current, not peak current. The output current or RMS current, not peak current. So don't get confused here. That's why I've written the output current divided by 3 into 10 to the power minus 6. So AW calculated is 1.67 mm, and now you have to select the wire gauge. So let us say, let us go on the wire table. So my diameter is area of conductor, it is 0.2.075, and what is my calculated value? 1.67. So I am going to use greater than this, so I am going to use the 16 SW G wire gauge. So my wire gauge is 16, and my AW now from the data sheet are the wire table I'm is 2.075. So in the fourth step, I got the area of my selected wire, or I have selected my wire gauge. So this is step number 4. In step number 5, I'm going to calculate, I'm going to do the window area cross check. So in order to do the window area cross check, you have to apply AW into KW. So AW is the window area, KW is the window utilization factor, KW. So what is the AW for my selected core? AW for my selected core is 27 mm square, 27 mm square. So I'll write it here, 27 mm square into 0.6 is the window factor. For skilled worker, if you multiply it is coming 16.2 mm square. Now n into AW, the number of turns into the wire area is, number of turns is 23, wire area is 2.06, so it is coming 46 mm. So what is ideal case? What is the window area cross check? Your AW KW has to be greater than n into AW. Otherwise, your number of turns is not going to fit in your core. So it has to always greater than. So let's say this here you are coming, you see here it is coming 16.2 mm square, which is less than 46 mm square. AW KW is less than n into AW. That means the core you have selected, what was the core? The core was PQ 1811 you have selected, and if you want that 23 number of turns with the wire gauge of 16, it is not going to fit, it is not going to accommodate on it. So you have to go and select the higher grade core. And now let's say, now what I'm looking for, 46 mm, the KWAW. So if I go again and if I look at here, so this is my window area which is 75. So let's say now I have selected the core of P3019, and if you select the core of P3019, where is my AW is, what is AW? AW is nothing but 75. And if you do window area cross check, so in this case AW KW is 45 mm square. That means this time you can accommodate 23 number of turns within your window area. Okay. For any doubt, feel free to reach out to me, and thanks for watching this video.